Hi there! This is a midsummer overview of my garden. The last overview was made in the middle of April, which is by now exactly 2.5 months ago. This garden is located at 60 degrees latitude in the northern Europe at the plant hardiness zone 5. It's recorded on the 26th of June 2024, and the purpose of this video is just a documentation of how the things are in my garden during that time of the year. We start from the entrance of my driveway, and right there on the left hand there is a tiny wildflower island that I haven't mowed, just to keep some wilderness close to my garden. And here we have the arborvitae hedge, planted about 1.5 years ago in November 2022. And the huge Cornus alba bush elegantissima. This is the huge driveway which we were cleaning in the springtime. And here is the garden side look to the tiny arborvitae hedge with a tiny rowan tree supporting it. Now starts the flower beds. You can see some Pfizer junipers here together with the sedum plants. Some more native junipers together with the phloxes. They don't bloom yet, but they probably start within a couple of 2 or 3 weeks. We have a flowering quince here, and some more phloxes and peonies. The flowers of the peonies were so huge this year. They were the size of my palm. These are some junipers and mountain pines. And here around the corner is a freshly distributed mulch and a tiny little pine tree. There is some catnip flower everywhere in my garden, as bees tend to love it. And it is a nice companion to the peony flowers. I love peonies, so I have them planted pretty much everywhere in my garden. They are in the end of their blooming season, but you can still find a couple of blooms here and there. Here we have some oriental grasses and some lavenders. I'm very happy that at least some of them survived the winter, which was very hard on them. The May roses are done flowering, but it looked absolutely gorgeous with thousands of white blooms. Here are some more peonies which are also almost done flowering. There are some pretty blooms still there. And there are some sweet williams in the background. They do not agree to flower anywhere else, only this place. There is some mulch area where the mulch still needs swapping, but we'll get there. Here we have some beach roses called rubra. And some park roses called Hansa. Then again beach rose, Alba. And park rose, Retausma. They are extremely durable in our climate. Here we have my European pines with some cones forming. I'm very happy about that. And here's my personal birch forest. Yay! There is a huge lawn area, and every time you walk over that, it's gonna give you some 500 steps at least. Here's my arborvitae island with a tiny bonbon vine in the background. And here we have some first climbing roses in the bloom. The first apples are also growing, and it makes me very happy. These are family trees. The first tree has now 3 different species of apples, which are all summer apples. This one in the middle is an autumn apple, and the one in the end has 2 different species of winter apples. Here's another huge lawn, which you have already seen from the past probably, if it's not your first time on this channel. And we are walking towards the rose bed in the background. That looks very super tiny from the far, and it takes forever to walk there. But it is cute, although a little messy. In this rose bed, we mainly have just the roses, a couple of crown-covering junipers, and a couple of lavenders that survived the winter. I'm still thinking what to do with this backside of this rose bed. Luckily, the junipers are recovering. They looked really bad in the springtime. And there are already some roses blooming. Unfortunately, I don't know the name of this red species because it was sold as a rose mix, which obviously is not a name, but it blooms very beautifully and multiple times over the season. And here we have some lavenders who survived. Yes, that's about the rose bed. Now entering the park forest. This is always very windy. Tiny American oaks, which turn beautiful orange color in the autumn. Regardless of the fence, the deers have come into my garden a couple of winters ago and eaten some of the branches of these tiny oak trees. The fence has not been repaired and the area looks pretty messy here. But I'm hoping that I'll get it done before the weather gets colder and the animals start to look for food and may damage my apple trees or oak trees. I haven't had the time to trim here, so it indeed looks a bit messy. Oh well. This is a very sandy area here, so it is a bit complicated to run robotic lawnmowers over this land because they tend to get stuck in the sand. Secondly, of course, they have a bit of trouble to find the satellites because of the high pine trees. On the left, we have a remaining part of the fence. There is the drainage collector area, which is completely overgrown. These are the high pine trees that cause problems for the robotic lawnmowers. They just do not get a good coverage, and hence they cannot locate themselves very precisely. And once this happens, they just stop mowing. Here are some more branches to be mulched. And here is another area looking for attention. I'm not even hoping to get everywhere within this summer. So here is my tiny fireplace. And behind that is a huge compost bag. It's white and it screams for attention. Not very pretty. Here is my ugly corner where I keep all my plants that are still waiting to be planted somewhere. And here is a pretty corner. With some beach grasses and more peonies. And this is a not functioning pumpkin bed. I should have trimmed it long time ago, but I didn't have any time. Here is a tiny planting area for shrubs. All of the shrubs should grow at least 1.5 to 2.5 meters high. That can of course take many years. And this is my garden area with some gooseberries and some blackberries in the background and red berries, which are already starting to take some color. Here are my tomatoes, hello. And here is all the other garden beds, which we are not going to go through in this video. This is another catnip. Just have to have this plant everywhere in my garden. And here is the driveway and my sun clock on this. It's 6:30. Here's the last freshly de-weeded garden bed, which has some flowers and some shrubs. This is a beautiful time of the year. The peonies here, however, are not very happy. For some reason, they never bloom. And look at this cute bumblebee. I love watching them. Some irises. And this is my back home. Surrounded with some oriental grasses and some species of salvia. Yay, and here's my lovely cat Kito. Say hi. Hi Kito. Hi. And that was the tour. Finishing this with a little wild flower bed, but I guess in such a big garden you can't control everything. Sometimes you just have to let the things grow, which has happened in this bed. Thank you so much for watching this video. I wish you all the best and take care. Bye.